All right, someone told me I should put a rig rundown video on YouTube, so I figured I would make a quick video and see how my new phone works. So, here we go. Here's my brains. We got a MIDI clock. It's on the default 120 right now. MIDI out of that, you can't see the cable goes back here to MIDI Solutions 1x4, which sends out to 4 different places. One goes to my Roland TR6S, which I just backed up and upgraded, and I put all the new sounds on. I'm cheating on getting 2 outs out of it. I have the main outs going into this really awesome Polara reverb pedal that sounds amazing. It's a pretty sure a recreation of all the old Lexicon reverbs, but that goes out, goes into a mixer hiding in the corner, and I'm also using the headphone out and getting that into this awesome Deja Vu tap delay that I can beat up right here and get cool sounds with, coming into a separate channel, only the wet, onto the mixer. Yeah, and also there's another input coming here. The drum machine out is going into my Emu Planet Fat, or MoFat. Sorry, I sold the Planet Fat. Now it's the MoFat. Super old, 2002. Yeah, so whatever's coming out of this MIDI goes into this guy, which also goes into this Lexicon reverb, and then into the mixer. So everything in this mixer is pretty drum oriented, if that makes sense. And then that main outs of that go into this MIDI synced Electro Harmonics looper, which I cannot say enough good things about. It's a super good looper. And I do have some things that bother me. I run out of space sometimes. Once you record a loop, it's a little annoying because you see 1, 2, 3, 4. It counts for you, but once it's recorded, it'll tell you what's going on, and you'll tell when your loop starts over, but you have no way to know when the beginning of the loop is coming up. I tried emailing them suggesting maybe something like, you know how this flashes, they could do like a, 1, 2, 3, 4 red flash, and then it goes to the beginning of it or something. I don't know. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because it's a great product, but that's dope. So that's the drum aspect of all my stuff. And then there's 2 more MIDI things being synced. So this is my 303 case over here. I've got 2 of the Behringer 303s, which I can afford. The cool thing about these is this guy here has the Retro Kits RK, I think it's 006 cable on it, and I have it programmed up with a clock divider. So whatever tempos are sent to the gray guy are half speed. So, this is on 120 right now, so it's going to act like it's at 60. And it's pretty fun. With this guy going at double speed, or I guess regular speed, and this is half, I could do some cool syncing things. The gate outs sound really good to the gate in on here. CV, you can get wacky stuff, whatever. The yellow Mo goes into this Ibanez phaser, which I absolutely love. Good phaser. Classic 303 sound on this gray guy going into the old Ibanez analog delay. Got a tuner pedal going off of the main headphone out so that I can check the tuning of everything. Yeah, let's see what else. Acid Brains, the name of my acid project. Yeah, and so I've also got a lot of MIDI stuff going on behind the scenes here. The MIDI out of the MoFat, because it's got a through, so I technically the through, I guess. So whatever's in the drum ends up to it, is going behind here to this MIDI hub. So I'm getting the MIDI in there. I can record the MIDI into my computer along with the audio, which is great. Back over here, the 303 that I have at halftime, its MIDI out is going into that MIDI box over there I just showed you. So I can record the MIDI and then back out over here to my baby, my Moog little fatty, which I bought right when they came out, and I absolutely love it. And I don't care that the keys are turning yellow because it's wonderful and it sounds great. And that's also going into the same case with the tuner so I can make sure it's in tune. I love this thing to death. But yeah, the other thing is the MIDI, the Mo here, the 303, the MIDI out of it goes into that box, comes back out, and goes into this old bad boy, the old Venom, Emma Audio Venom, which people love and hate. Also got wonderful yellowing keys, which work just fine. I'm not an aesthetics guy. I don't treat my stuff like crap, but whatever, it works, you know? Stickers don't make it sound different. So yeah, I've got a lot of layers going on. Pretty much got the Roland, which is also playing the MoFat, which goes into there to record the MIDI. And then I've got the Gray 303 halftime with some effects, also playing the Moog, so I get another layer of awesome bass. And I've got the Mo going into the Venom, so I can make it play. I've been making it play drums. I can make it just another layer of sounds, and it sounds wonderful. And then here is the wacky second part of all of this. I'm running, this Beat Step Arturia. I'm not even using the buttons. I'm using the knobs. It's a MIDI controller for this absolutely amazing program called M185. It's based on an old step sequencer module that I will not remember the name of right now. But yeah, this software is wonderful. I'll just turn it on. You can see it running. Whoop-de-doo. It's got some randomization features on all the stuff. I could scale it. I love it. But what's going on for notes is what I'm doing, and it's a really fun way to do stuff with it, is here's the MIDI box with all the stuff. The 303s are both going in here, obviously. And with this awesome MIDI hub that everyone should have, I did some filtering, and the two 303s are, I have some note scaling going on, and they're both coming out of this fourth output here. And what I'm doing is whatever low notes, like pretty much this thing is my low guy, this is my high guy for notes. But what I'm doing is I'm filtering out the low notes on this, and whenever it hits high notes, those will make it through that out. And on this guy, the high notes will not make it through, and the low notes that this thing hits will make it to that thing. So pretty much splitting up the notes that go, and they come out of this fourth out. And what they're doing is they're going into this M183, or 84, M184, 85, I can't talk today, sorry. I've had a lot of coffee. And what it does is, you can't see it now, but it'll start changing the notes by whatever's coming out of that. And I just make sure to have them in the same scale. It's really fun. They sound really good. And what the thing is nice about it is I don't have this tempo sync because it's being really silly about that for some reason. But I put it on the same tempo. And I'll start it playing. And this thing can it throws out like wackiness, but it's getting the notes from all my other stuff. So I record all of that separately, and those notes are going over here into, I guess I would call it all of my extra junk, if that makes sense. So I'm sending that the MIDI notes out of the M185 into a MIDI multiplier thing here, an old Yamaha. 1 in, 4 out, or 8 out actually, but I'm using 3. And that goes into an awesome Korg NT S1 or whatever they're called. I forget the model numbers. Got the dope flanger on here, I think by Sign Vibes. I've got there's some other stuff on here I'm forgetting the name of. Bastel Castle that I built that is just complete wackiness. And I'm running the sync off of this Volca FM, the old one. I'm running the sync off of that into here so I can sync up LFOs and stuff and get some wackiness there. But yeah, we got the Korg, NTS1, Bastel Castle, FM. I'm running the outputs of this. Stereo cable out. One of them's going into a cheap-ass reverb pedal. I don't even know what I have it on yet. I haven't even messed with it. Put a little fuzzy over it to make it not as damn bright, because it's bright as hell. And then the other part's going into an old DoD flanger. Yeah, and all the outputs of that going into a nice little Zoom H6, I believe, recording everything. Yeah, all into my mixer over here. 2 outputs for all the drum stuff, 2 for all the bass, and 2 for the noisy stuff, all separate direct out into my interface, and that Tascam into my computer, and it's wonderful and I love it. But yeah, thank you for your time. Boom.